Hulk Hogan, The Rock, those guys have made it so high, the goal's so high it's impossible to reach, close to impossible. My goal was to be the best ever among my peers. The only problem with that... Ric Flair.
That kind of guy, Bret Hart?
Yes, a Ric Flair, Bret Hart, exactly. The only problem is I haven't given enough time. And because of my injuries, I might never be able to be considered among the best ever because I've only given 4.5 years.
Are you worried the company won't push you the way they would have because of your health?
Yes, yes. Obviously, they probably won't, and I don't blame them for that. I think it's kind of like Eddie Guerrero. He came in, and sure, we could have pushed Eddie 2 years ago and made him the superstar back then, but he had that drug problem. Let's see where Eddie goes with his life. And he went in the right direction. 2 years later, the company's on his shoulders because they trust him and they believe in him. And they know he's going to be there tomorrow. With Kurt Angle, I might not.
That's a beautiful segue to a comment that you made almost 3 years ago to the day. When we met you, you were a guy without a history, really, in
Right.
World Wrestling Federation or now entertainment. Listen to what you had to say on Off the Record about drugs in the business and all that. Roll it.
I can't say I never took a painkiller. You know, I've had surgeries and stuff like that where I had to, but it's very difficult not to. You're talking, even if you don't want to call the WWF a sport, you're talking about the most brutal form of performance, entertainment, whatever you want to call it, sport, there is.
Painkillers are a huge issue in every contact sport, probably more in what you do than anything else. Has your attitude changed about that?
No, no, not at all. I can't say who's taking them, who's not taking them. I can't say I never took them. I mean, I got neck injuries. I got injuries to my whole body. The thing is, you know, we wrestle 250 days a year. And when you're wrestling that much, you know, no offense, I mean, the NFL, I think that's the most brutal sport there is. But these guys, during their practice days, they don't have to give 100%. They have to give 100% 16 dates a year, including the playoffs. We go out there, we got to bust our rear ends every single night we're out there because that's what we're taught to do, and that's what we have to do. Doing it 250 days a year, how are you not going to have to take a Vicodin here or a Percocet there? And you know what? I'm not putting down the WWE. I'm not putting down our wrestlers because Vince McMahon has a certain agenda for all of us. And the agenda includes you screw up and you get caught up in drugs, you're gone. So he is very strict about it, and I don't blame him for that. But I also don't blame a wrestler if he's hurting pretty badly for doing something to relieve the pain, not abusing it, but doing it on a prescribed basis.
But that's what every sport faces, and I'll take it away from wrestling, which obviously you're sensitive to, but if a football coach says, I don't want anyone taking painkillers, but I want you to play in a certain way, and I don't want any excuses, then really he's part of the problem.
Exactly, yeah, he would be part of the problem. How could you tell somebody not to take pain relievers or painkillers when they're in so much pain that they can't bear it, and the doctor's willing to give it to them on a prescribed basis? That's pretty crazy.
Olympics are coming up, right? You getting the itch?
No, I don't have the itch anymore. The only reason why is because, like you said before, there's a time to retire. And that aspect of my life, that's gone. I can't look back and expect myself to perform.
I'll ask you whether you ever thought...
You have a strudel.
See, you're good with a mic, and when we were in commercial, after we mentioned that you actually did a little sportscasting in Pittsburgh, you said you were terrible, you couldn't do the job. But you're great with the microphone, right?
That's a whole different story. It's a completely... What you do, I'm not very good at. I'm good on this side, and I'm good playing a part on TV. And I can read an audience, I can do that stuff, but I don't have great instincts on interviewing a person and going in the right direction.
I guess what you're saying is this job is unbelievably tough to do, and very few have the gifts to do it. But you had the gift to do
something. It'd be like
something.
you getting in the ring and wrestling.
I never said I couldn't do that. You said you couldn't do my job. One of the things that I believe you've done, and you comment, is take some of the stigma away from amateur wrestlers being thought of as boring. Like, you got two different worlds, pro wrestlers, amateur wrestlers. There's no affinity, there's no respect for the other world. Do you think you've helped that? Yeah,
I hope I did. I think I did really by a greater means than anyone's ever done before. When I came into WWE, my goal obviously was for myself, but it was also to give amateur wrestling a name, a face. You know, when Kurt Angle goes out in the ring as a gold medalist from the Olympics in amateur wrestling, That's what Kurt Angle
Could
is.
Brock have happened without
gold
Kurt?
medalist in the amateur wrestling ranks.
Could Brock have happened without Kurt? Because he came
Brock
from
might
amateur.
have never happened if it wasn't for Kurt. That gave a lot of guys some motivation to cross the line, what they wouldn't do before because of amateur wrestling and their peers. But
well, you thought the same thing, right? When you were an amateur wrestler, you thought pro wrestling was a joke. You thought there's no chance that is ever going to be me.
I said I wouldn't stoop to that level, not knowing that I'm the one that was stooping to the level by thinking that the WWE was beneath me.
Right.
It was stupid.
Now, have you changed the thinking of your peers back then with amateur wrestlers, where they look and go, you know what, Kurt's there, Kurt's getting beaten up in that, Kurt's, you know, like he's made the crossover. Have you changed their opinions as well?
Yes, most of them, not all of them. Some of them are so old school that they'll never change their opinions. But for the most case, I have, and we're getting a lot more kids trying out from amateur wrestling, crossing over. See, this gives them an opportunity to display their skills from amateur wrestling. It gives them an opportunity to display all the awards they won in amateur wrestling. And Brock Lesnar's a national champion. He gets to say, I'm a national champion in wrestling. And he gets to display his wrestling skills. He also gets to show his sense of humor on TV. It's a great job. It's a great gig. You take your amateur wrestling, bring it over to professional wrestling, and start a whole new career. Why wouldn't you want to do it? It gives amateur wrestling, it gives it exposure that it never gets.
So, you know, it's the only way you can really cash in and make some money.
Exactly.
Like, what do you do if you're a wrestler?
coach.
You
You're
win
a
a gold
coach.
medal. Yeah,
You're a
and
coach.
coaching and wrestling isn't known to be, you know, a highly paid profession.
No, not at all.
Did you think about getting back to the Olympics ever?
Oh, yeah, both in 2000 and 2004. Right before 2000, I had knee surgery. I couldn't do it. And then 2004, my neck. And I'm getting too old now. I'm 35 years old. I can't go with those guys. I'm not about to even belittle those guys of thinking that right now in my life I can go in there and go with them. I couldn't. Those guys would kill me. Amateur wrestling's way too competitive. Nationally, internationally, it's one of the toughest sports in the world.
I think I know why you've cut it in both worlds, because you respect both worlds, because you never undervalue the task at hand, which is a huge thing.
Yeah, without a doubt.
We'll take a break. This email is for you. Don't answer it right now. We'll answer it after the break. Kurt, your character confuses me. I know The Undertaker isn't really The Undertaker. I got to say, you know, we've done since September 8th, 97, when Off the Record began, we've done virtually every name on your roster. I've not enjoyed talking to a guy more than I've enjoyed talking to you today. Thank you very much. So we had that viewer in Winnipeg who said, Kurt, who are you in the ring? What is Kurt Angle in the ring? What's character?
I think Kurt Angle is probably as close to the real person as anyone is. Usually we play characters on TV. Sure, I go a little bit over the top, but I really am the gold medalist from Pittsburgh. I'm not playing some gimmick character like The Undertaker or some, you know, badass guy from the streets of Greenwich like Triple H. You pretty much get what you see with Kurt Angle. Of course, we've done the nerdy. You know, there's always a twist to it. You know, I've done the nerdy approach, the tough guy approach, but we pretty much gone with the real Kurt Angle. That's what we wanted to in the first place. Kurt Angle from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's a gold medalist in the Olympics. A lot of fans ask me, "Did you really win a gold medal, or is that just your gimmick?" No, everything about me is.
That's the
real.
problem in what you do, and that so much of it is make believe, right?
Right,
that
right.
people don't believe the real stuff.
Exactly.
And that's why when Brock Lesnar did what he did and he was unconscious, people believe that's a work.
Yeah, they thought that.
And when
was part of
JR's
the
going,
show.
oh my God, and there was a shot of you falling onto a table, going through the table, and he's screaming, oh my God! And I'm
Right,
thinking,
right.
really, oh my God? But because
Right.
everything is fake in what you do from the standpoint that you can't define, it's scripted, sorry, not fake. You don't know what's real and what's not. How much have you
Exactly.
changed? You did the show 3 years ago. How's Kurt Angle changed?
Well, I'm bald. You know, I think I've matured as far as the way I look out at the business, the way I look at my family. When I was here 3 years ago, I think I was more wrapped up in the business. I was more kind of like starstruck about the WWE and being a superstar,
And
one of the
proving
top
yourself,
stars.
right?
Yeah. Now I'm just kind of like, man, I'd rather be home with my wife and kid right now. I think I'm a much more peaceful time in my life, and I enjoy sitting back and not making myself kind of the center of attention.
Right. I got to ask you about SmackDown, because it's one of the things you're talking about. Tell me, SmackDown in Toronto, Air Canada Centre, right?
June 1st, man. And the great thing about this one is that, you know, everybody's coming back. You know, The Undertaker will be back. Rey Mysterio's coming back from injury. Eddie Guerrero's going to be there. John Cena, I'm going to be there. Just all these superstars are coming back that this is the first time, and I bet you a year, that everybody's going to kind of mold together and be here for one event, and that's going to be right here.
Hard not to say you got to be there. You don't have to be there for that if you're a wrestling fan. Kurt, thanks for doing the show.
Oh, hey, invite me next week, tomorrow, whenever. I love it here.
You know what? One of the beautiful things about this show is you meet the real guy, and I'm loving the real guy, Kurt Angle.
Thanks
for doing it.
Thank you very much, Mike.